Hello everybody, Frankie Day here for Frankie Day Models. Okay fellas, for this joyous Tuesday evening, I have for you video number 1 on my AIRFIX 1/72 scale Grumman duck. This is going to be the first build that I started in this here trailer, since I'm settling in here quite nicely and well. And before we get started, I'd like to thank everybody out there for your wonderful comments on the storage and in the breakout of kits video I done yesterday. I figured y'all would be pretty amused about that. And so I got 2 more units, like I said, inside the storage. You got just like it, full of a lot of built stuff. Boy, it took a lot of work, guys. To tell you, it just wasn't easy. Moving in general is not easy. So I think I feel a lot more safer here than I do buying a home. But I still got my dauber up looking for a home, because I've never lived in something like this before, and I thank Christ I got a roof over my head, and I got a lot to be grateful for and thankful for, and it's home. So I can always do better. Okay, on this video here, this thing is almost done. I've been on this thing for about 4 days. If you take your time and do it right, it'll take you 5 days to a week to build something like this, and that's this scale. Because you got that time because it's so tiny, and you got to make quite sure that everything is painted nicely and neatly, and the fiddly of parts you gotta handle all the time. And when it's all done, it comes out very handsomely well. It's beautiful. I'm enjoying the heck out of this little thing. You know, I kind of like building these little squirts. You know, it's different opposed to my normal builds, and like everybody, we build big guys. You know, and you know me, nobody's more than Mr. Big than me. Right now I'm Mr. Small. So I don't mind building these little squirts. They're a challenge, and they go together quite well. And you got to remember, they got to be really concise when it comes to applying the paintwork on these things. Okay, the history of the duck is no more than a utility observation aircraft. Reconnaissance, shoveling the grass here to there, weather observations, rescue work, stuff like that in general. It was actually designed for, even during the war. And pretty much like the Western Lysander, except the Western Lysander, they dealt with special operations and commando operations and stuff like that, sneak in and sneak out. But the duck, it went through everything. Okay, getting back to the kit. Now this kit's been around for a long time. I've watched about 3 videos on this thing so far. A Pensaman's bunker, a Brother Bill. He did one for an entry on my seaplane flying boat group build I just had. I still got going on. And the other fellows got theirs done too, and I'm very grateful. And a hearty, well done thank you fellows out there for your entry into my seaplane group build. And I'm very grateful. Thank you. Okay, back to the duck, of course. The AIRFIX kit's been around for a while. It's been around since 1973, because the Devastator came out back in 1973. And they were actually very, very welcome kits to the modelers back in those days. Because back in there was no models of the TBD Devastator to be sought, even found. There's only 2 companies that brought it out at the time, was AIRFIX and also Monogram, which we're all associated with. And the AIRFIX kit is a beautiful kit. They captured a lot of detail in that model. Now the Grumman duck came out right after that, and I built one before. It was painted blue. I think it was painted more or less intermediate blue, sea blue, with gray. Because these things came out back in the 30s, so they're pretty much up there with the color schedules of the SBD Dauntless and the rest that were out there during the South Pacific. Actually, it was the livery of it was South Pacific, all blue. It came out quite nice. This is the second time I attempt to build this thing. As the kit goes together, very well, very sweetly. the secret is you just have a nice, beautiful, sharp number 11 blade like this here. Always use the back side of that knife and scrape all those flashes like landing gear and struts and stuff. Always prepare your parts, make sure they're good and clean before you assemble them, because that'll make parts go together very, very well. If you don't, you gotta fuss with it. And pretty soon you start having fit issues, and pretty soon we all once in a while complain about the kit's junk, you know, and stuff, which is not. So make sure that all the parts are clean. I cleaned all these parts before I glued it. They went together like a snap. Now, there's been talks about the difficulty of the installation of the landing gear. I agree with all of you. I didn't have no difficulty at all, but I can understand the difficulty is on the plans. They don't give you the appropriate location where the A-frame struts that goes up to the oleos. You remember the landing gear retracts inside the fuselage, brings the wheel up, and you got those frames that go up with it. And there's 2 of them on there. And there's only 2 recesses inside that wheel well. And both those A-frames fit in that recess. Then I do is spread them apart. Then at the bottom of your oleo, where the axle goes out to the wheel, there's 2 little nipples that stick out. And you glue one on top of that one, and glue it on top of the other one. Done. And the model it's a very good model. I've got it all painted, all done. All thing that's done now is the pilots, which I'm still painting. I'm not as good as Brother Bill of Benjamin Bunker and Freddie Duarte and Gilbert. So I got these guys here. I just got them painted. I got them dark gray. I was going to paint a fluorescent orange flight suit. So now they didn't have back in 1948. They're more or less dark green. So these are dark green with a Mae West white helmet. I'm going to put the goggles on, paint the flesh, install. Now, special note here. On this sprue, they give you 2 flight figures on here. They give the observation and the rear gunner. They cut this guy's legs off. I mean, he's a pluggy. I mean, he's always got his abdomen and his arms and his head. They did that so that they can put, because they got a seat inside the interior in there. If he was full bodied, it would not fit inside that in that interior. So that's why the company elected went ahead and whacked off his legs and just left the stump of his torso, which glues on top of the chair. But to make it full, put a full figure pilot in there, you got to do a little plastic surgery there to make it fit right. And of course, you got these clear parts. I'm just going to take these clear parts out, and I got to prepare them. And then I'm going to go ahead and mask them off and airbrush them with aluminum. And lastly, I got the rear .30 caliber machine gun. It fits back there where the observer sits at. And the rigging. And that's it. And she's finished. And I'm going to put it up. I got a nice little shelf over here. Because I like about this trailers, they got little like knick-knack shells, like mother and your wives and everybody put knick-knacks on. These fit quite handsomely on there too. So that's what this is going to go right over there. I can see 6 of them going up there. And they probably will be there. Okay, we're going to get to the duck. Hard to starboard. And there she is right there, our Lazy Susan. We can zoom in a little bit here, guys. It's all been primed. The primer. You know, I went ahead after the primer dried. I rubbed the plane down with a nice soft cloth to dull out that primer so it's nice and shiny. Then I bought this at Smitty's Hobby Shop. This is good stuff, fellas. It's even got a mixing ball in it. It's Vallejo aluminum acrylic. It works very, very well. I'm pretty satisfied with this stuff. And you see it goes on well on here. The interior was painted my cockpit grain. Add a wash in there. Add a little bit of aluminum. I don't know if you can see it too good. I'll give you my Sunday's best, fellas. I know how this camera go in there. We can go in and squeeze more. That's as close as we're going to get it. Now, on the instrument panel, all they give you is an instrument panel with small holes that's molded on there. I said, hell with that stuff. This is a challenge. So I got me a pen vise with a very, very small drill. I drilled out all those holes in that instrument panel, and it comes out quite nicely in there. After I apply the pilot's windscreen, I'll add the airframe wires. Now, what I did, guys, instead of using aerosols, I don't use those no more. Not this here trailer. I will not take it outside either. So I got a better method. I get me a can of mini wax polyurethane and thin it down real thin. And add about 2 or 3 coats on this thing and really makes them shine nice. I got me a paint booth that I'm sending away for, so I can put it here. I got a little coffee table right behind my left shoulder, and on the coffee table is going to be my paint booth where I can put this at. Because out there, there's a vent that goes out there to the trailer. I can vent a hose through there, and we'll be able to exhale all the exhaust from paint fumes and such. So I keep it clean here, guys. I'm always constantly dusting in here and everything. And I got to realize that this is very small. I cannot get paint in here at all. I'm very careful mixing my paints here, because I don't want to have a boo-boo head of stuff on the deck right here. Such a nice wooden deck here to have. I don't want no paint on here at all. Okay. That's about as far as old Frankie Day got on the Mighty Duck. I think we'll get some detail shots of this thing, but I'll bring it up a little bit. I don't know if it's little. It's okay there. So they got down the carriage just like it's supposed to be. This is such a pretty little airplane, guys. I love this little part. It's so gentle and so small. You know, a gust of wind would destroy it. I like that paint schedule on it. It's very, very nice. I like it. This is a good kit, guys. This is old kit. Oh yes, another thing I thought they had. The observation windows on there, I got maskings on there. The reason why I didn't take the maskings off, because I already gave this thing one last coat of polyurethane. Doesn't need no more. This thing is nice. And just a little, it's not dry to touch, but it's getting there. And so leave it alone, let it dry overnight. You can handle it and fill the bottle with all you want to without having finger marks on your wet paint. So that's as far as got on the duck, guys. Alrighty then. Now, this is going to be a long video. I made some kit breakouts out of my storage today. I said, well, Frank, it says, ain't no sense. I'm going to work, going back home, and he said, well, I gotta get this out, get that out, and I need to go back there and get this again. So I said, no, that's just too much. It's just too much time. And besides that, that van I have, that my SUV, it really consumes fuel. It goes to petrol just like a sieve going through water going through a sieve. And it ain't really that bad, but it's not as great as my Grand Prix I have, which is very good on gas. So I use that because I don't want to use that van because it costs too much money. I ought to use that just to move. Believe me, it cost me a handsome dime. Okay, now I made some kit breakouts at the storage. I bought me a fistload of kits here that I brought out. Now you guys already seen the frog jobs I had, which is Nova, and also the AIRFIX 1/72 scale Devastator. When I finish this, I'm gonna hop on something. I don't know what it's gonna be though, but I'm not gonna bring too much in here because I gotta lighten the ship. I can't get too much in here. So this is the end of video number 1 on the AIRFIX Grumman duck. Now continued is going to be a kit breakout of my stash. First of all, I got to get rid of this duck somewhere because I'm going to be bringing kits over here and it's going to get into the way. And I think I found a good location for it. I'm going to be very careful here not to knock anything over. I can bring the duck over here. Excuse my back, fellas. Alrighty. Okay. I'm gonna see how this thing works. This camera suits. I was gonna put it on the mat. You gotta excuse me for that, guys. Okay, I went to my storage today, and I bought out some stuff. Today, also yesterday, I hit the shed twice. I ain't gonna go back there no more. I got all I need here to work on. And then we get done, I'll box it up, put it back in the storage, and just keep building. Okay, I want to start. This is the AIRFIX. I got this back in 1963. This is the AIRFIX 1/72 scale short submarine. This is no stranger to us YouTubers. This kit's been around a long time, and it's still around. These are very beautiful kits, and that's pristine condition too. Okay, we'll set the short submarine over there. Whole porcupine, we call it. Turn around here and grab something else over here. Now, here's another one I like doing. This is 2 kits in 1 box. I got this from our beloved Mr. Freddie Duarte. I think he sent this to me probably about maybe 2-3 years ago, I believe. I was quite sure around that time. This is the old Accurate Miniatures F3, F2 flying barrel. But the side of it, it's got that. It's got the 1962 monogram F4F Wildcat, and he started working on the Wildcat a little bit. He's got the interiors done and the pilot all painted up, superb. So I got that out. That's going to be a build coming up. Okay. Let me get this. I got this vampire right here. I bought this at Smitty's probably about maybe 2 years ago. At least 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. And I like that. I'll probably be working on that one too. That's in the kits breakout I got. And I like this little squirt here too. This is a real nice kit also. This is the Curtis Hawk. This is a Chenot's P40 Flying Tigers out of China. So this is going to be another one. I looked at it, real nice kit. Okay, lastly,